good morning. Because for me, it's early morning. For most of you, you already had lunch, you're awake. I'm waking. But I'm happy to be here and happy to see you all again. And it's going to be a good Saturday of work. We have 7 of you registered for today. We have visitors for the first time. And I would just wait a little bit more. It's funny because last time Saturday was crowded and Wednesday was empty. And then this time Wednesday is crowded and we're not empty, but glad to be here with you. Yes, the dog is still here and he's happy because it's early morning and instead of walking, he's watching classes. And let me see who's already here. Good morning, Anna. Good morning, Rami.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Sherif. How are you, my friend? And who else here? Good morning, MJ. Welcome. Good morning, Alma.
Good morning. It's a midday in Norway, but good morning to you and good day for the rest. Maybe good evening for someone.
Maybe, yeah. I think for MJ it's almost evening. We have
here is the almost the 9 actually 8 p.m.
Wow.
So that is much better than the next Wednesday. The next day will start from the 10 p.m. for me. So today is much better.
Yeah, we are waiting for Berenice. She said she's going to be here. For her, it's going to be 6 a.m. in Mexico. Yeah. This is the biggest problem. We have people from the 6 a.m. to the 8 p.m. So we have people from very different time zones. So, but it's good to have you here. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
You're going to be a speaker today or Wednesday? For you, it's better today?
Me actually?
You're going to participate today as a speaker.
You mean me?
Yeah.
Yes, I will be a speaker in the next meeting.
On the next meeting, okay? Because I have you there, so you're going to be with us today, watching your friend.
Right.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
To learn.
Yeah, you're going to enjoy. It's a very good group. We had a very good time, and congratulations for your working groups. I'm so happy with the result, the things you have done. From UCLG, I have here with me, as you have seen, I have Sarah and I have Fernando. And from the Diputación Barcelona, I have Anna. Thanks for coming. And we have our lovely tutor, Lisa. Welcome, Lisa. She was not with us.
Hi, everyone.
She missed our debates last time. She betrayed me with the other teachers. But I'm glad to have you here with us, Elisa, today. So I think, let me see who's here. Sherif, are you listening to me? I haven't heard from you yet. Yeah, Rami, Alma, Anna, it's not Anna from Russia is not here yet.
Hello, Cid.
Hello.
Miss you.
I'm fine. And how are you?
I'm fine, sir. How are you? I miss you a lot.
Well, I'm a little bit tired. Early morning, but I'm fine.
You are up for it.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Hello, everybody. I hope you are all well. Hello, dear. Hello, Miss Sarah. Hello, Annie. Hello, MJ. Hello, Rami. Hello, Anna. Hello, Alma. Hello, Ilsa. Hello, Liza. How are you all? Wish you all the best. Miss you all. I'm I'm so glad to be with you today.
Good to have you here.
Thank you.
I think while people is coming, I will ask Sarah to talk a little bit with us about the work that UCLG is developing and a little bit of what are the plans for the future. We are almost, it's almost the end of the year. You start having Christmas movies on television all the time. So it's good times for evaluation and plans. Anna, welcome. So Sarah.
Okay, thank you so much, Cid. It's really always a pleasure and see how these groups is able to become friends virtually. I find it so amazing, the evolution of this work. And when we look into the COVID time, the way how networks like United Cities and local governments have to position, have to change the practice, we can say that this way of online, not only teaching, I think is mutual learning, because we learn a lot from you, is really very one of the highlights. It's very much fun, and it's so interesting because we have time to dedicate a little bit to each other, which is not possible if we are in these big meetings. But I think, as Cid said, if you want to know a little bit where we are in UCLG, what is our what we have done and what we will do, and particularly on localization, of course, I'm very happy to say some words on this. So this year, as you know, we have been very intensively working with a lot of dialogues and consultations. So this was starting in March, when COVID was hitting our work routine. Anyhow, we were quite fast in setting up a big cycle of live learning sessions on the impact COVID has on the political agenda, and in particular on the international political local agenda. So first, I would please remind you to do the course Fernando has set up for all of you. Learning with UCLG, we have there a mock, so you can go yourself, and please distribute it with your friends. We have done this because we think this is very important, that people can just remind all these interesting lessons, which are very, very clearly organized. And actually, when we were in this crisis, moment of crisis, which is really shuffling the world over, we saw the sustainable development goals are more important than ever. Because actually, if we look at it now from a generic perspective, looking to the reports of our friends in United Nations, we can say the gap of poverty is increasing. The sustainable development goals might not go where that fast we were looking at, in particular, of course, economies, global economy, but particular local economy is hit very hard. So this will translate in long-term impact to increasing poverty if nobody is mitigating these impacts. So when we in UCLG did the last year, we did a decalogue, which are the 10 essential points which local government find the most critical message to the global communities. And this decalogue is very similar to the SDG, but much sharper, I would say. And also the change we have done there is we push for public services. So this was not that clear last year. It was not so clear to us that actually the main element local governments can use for policy making, for equality, for equity, for economic growth is public service, because public service is also, when you see the threat worldwide now, you can see a big difference between public basic service or private basic service, for example. So this was one additional point I think we added to the SDG, and we have enriched our agenda and make it more focused. Of course, the SDG and multilateralism is key to continue, and we as United Cities and local government help to build the bridge there between local practice, local policy making, and global agenda and global institutions. And we have been very successful, I would say, in outreaching United Nations. We have actually not only UN Habitat with us and UNDP, which were the both agencies were very close to us, but this year in our council meetings, we had even Gutierrez, we had WHO, we had actually almost all the agencies we are working towards and in exchange were coming to support our leaders, to give at least a message of support. And this is good, because for the localizing process, it is again confirming that the local government reality, the local government effort and commitment is acknowledged. And this session now, I think, will deal with reporting. So the local voluntary reviews, as you have been looking at into the papers, this is mainly a methodology for visibility of cities. And what we have seen, many cities starting doing their reviews. You might recall the first one, Helsinki. There were a city of Seoul, many Japanese cities doing really amazing work in New York, inspiring others. So we have gathered the methodology, what is behind, why do the municipality do this? And how do they do this? Because, of course, this reporting exercise is an opportunity, in particular, for international policy making being institutionalized inside the local government. So that part we have looked into and worked in methodology. And we also have our colleagues from the research team have gathered a lot of reports and made a guide on voluntary local review and a working group inside UCLG. And of course, this group for you, if you feel yourself later doing a report on of your city, you are very welcome to connect to this working group. The other part is national reporting, because in the end, local government, of course, we see more and more that for the local governments, using the international narrative, the international discourse on SDG is very useful for the local national dialogue. So the local national relation is actually the one that creates a lot of facts, creates decentralization, creates fiscal decentralization, creates more attention, more programs, and a better governance. And of course, this is the real point, which is important to be stringent. And that's why for us, the national reports remain very important, in particular for associations. And we will do an effort for next year to deepen this. Both reporting methodologies are in our module 3. So if we look on the next year for localization, we will again do a report to high-level policy forum, but this is not enough. We need really to also remind the most important group to report to is the citizens, and local governments. When they report to the citizens, sometimes they report very different than if they report towards a national government or an international or United Nations. So some of the methodology of the Sustainable Development Goals are interesting to be used for the accountability with the citizens. And that's a little bit an issue we will look at next year. We also prepare to do another course like this on SDG and decentralized cooperation, because of course one element that you have as international focal points in your municipality, of course you have the narrative, the agenda, and the reporting work maybe, so that visibility, but you also need to take care of the relations. So what is a relation with other governments? Why do I do it? What is the transformative power of cooperation? And we will look next year into this. So from our learning team, which here you can see our partners, Diputación, our trainers, and ourselves, Fernando and my the other colleagues and myself. We will commit and put a foot into this because we consider it is very important. And again, here also the Sustainable Development Goals are a very good umbrella. In particular, the goal 17 on partnership. Because actually everybody is aware on that, and we need to make use of this momentum that is created. So from our point, we can again say for us it's very important that to keep in touch with you, to see what you are doing, in particular if you are multiplying. I know some will, like Anna in UCLG Eurasia, you will be doing trainings, and we give you a hand. But of course, please also the other colleagues also, I think we know from Dani that will also probably roll out trainings. We are really interested to know this, what is happening, what you are doing, and we are also here to support you. So I think this is from my side. I know you have done great work, and now I would like more to listen to you, because I think you are always you are upscaling the agenda, and you are also updating us what's going on in the different territories. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you, Cid, for this very charming moderation. Thank you, Anna, for being really always with us on this and to make it happen. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. And thanks, Fernando, for doing all your marketing.
Thank you, Sarah.
Chat.
I would like, other than the marketing, I would like also to give some numbers that the Go team has passed to us that say a lot about this process, right, of reporting. It's a very unequal process in some regions of the world. We can see that Europe is very committed, and since 2016, 178 countries have presented their voluntary national reviews, and each country has committed to present until 2030 at least twice. But some of the countries have never done it, like the US, for instance. And for this year, even with the COVID and all the special time we are living, 43 countries have presented. So we are seeing that is going each year stronger, the process, but we have these challenges that Sarah mentioned, and I believe, as Sarah stressed, the continuation and the multiplication of the awareness raising strategies locally, the planning, and not only the monitoring and reporting, but also the involvement of you as future trainers in initiatives of advocacy with us are very important for us to integrate the multiplication of the training and learning, but also with the reporting and the advocacy initiatives that we are having. So for this is just the beginning for the next couple of days, months, and years, and we hope you can be our focal points in your cities and countries and regions, and we keep available. Thanks. This is the final propaganda, Cid. Now you have the floor.
Surely.
No problem at all. I'm just shocked because if you realize Sarah mentioned something, you have the link ready in seconds. We have to hire him, Anna. He's very good in marketing.
What can I say? We think alike.
He is not available on the market because without Fernando, we would not do all this. Huh? You have to see.
Yeah, I'm sure about it.
Take care of him because he only reports so positive on all your work.
Oh, thank you. I know. A very good friend. I see Manar is here with us. Good morning, Manar.
Good morning. Hi, everyone.
Good
I was from the beginning, but I was using the hello. I was using the name of the union, so I changed the name.
I saw it was you.
Yeah.
Good to have you here with us today as well.
Me too.
Anna, do you want to say something?
Not really. I think now all of you know the role of the Diputación de Barcelona in this course, so I don't want to say anything more. Only to say thank you for connecting on Saturday to all of you, and we hope that you are you can enjoy this activity, and you can to obtain the necessary tools to localize the SDGs in all the course, and that's it.
Thank you for being here.
I don't say any propaganda, nothing to do.
You have to talk to Fernando next time. When you say Diputación Barcelona, a video comes in showing the city, the work.
No. I prefer to listen the other people.
So we have, thanks, Anna. So we have 4 people to talk today. We have Sherif, we have Rami, we have Anna, we have Alma, and we have audience. So in our audience today, we have MJ and we have Manar. So, you know, the topic today, we're going to talk about the reporting. And I hope you had the chance to give a look on our guidelines. So what we expect you today to talk to us first about your country's report. If you had the chance, if your country has a report, how was the process? Was your local or regional government part of the process of the elaboration of the report? Does your country has national mechanism to support and to implement the agenda? How the support works, and how this report affects and reflects in your territory? Do you have any results about that? Is there any proof that it's really work on your territory? And if you have your own local or regional government have done any reporting, please share with us your thoughts. So, are you ready, Alma? Let's start with Norway.
Okay, sure. Thank you very much for this opportunity. So as I understand, I have 5 minutes, so I will just touch the main points about our report.
Don't tell anyone, Alma, you have 7, you're only 4 today.
Okay, that's fine. Then we maybe have some time for questions in that case. So yes, Norway is very committed on a national level, and we have also submitted the last report in 2019. The report is called 1 Year Closer. And it was presented by our Prime Minister in New York in July last year. And I have to say that it is a very good report. It is in English, so which means I can actually share it with you. If you would like to read, it's on our government page. And this is where the government went through every SDG one by one, so all 17 points. However, when it comes to the local governance and their inclusion in the process, I have to say that we are a little bit delayed with the involvement of the local government. The reason for that could be various things. One of them is that we had merging of counties from 1st of January 2020. So most likely that's why we did not submit a national report this year. We had also on the governmental level made several new policies in Norway. So most likely they were the priority. And there is another report, unfortunately written only in Norwegian, but it is an assessment made by research agency, research institute in Norway, looking exactly into the role of local governance on county and municipality level, but mostly on the county level, because county level in Norway has quite a lot of power, so to speak. So, for instance, counties are the ones that get a lot of state subsidies. Counties are those that are very much responsible for policy making. So in terms of policy coherence and using SDGs in the current policies, counties, in the conclusion of this Norwegian report, counties did not really come this far. And when I also did some of the research myself, I can see that there are huge disparities. For instance, one of the counties, it's called Viken. It is next to the capital of the city of Oslo. They have come far compared to many other counties, and especially those in northern Norway. There is a really need to speed up a little bit. And as I said, merging of the counties could be one thing. They didn't really put a lot of emphasis on that, but it is time to use SDGs in the policy coherence. It hasn't happened fast enough. And also I can mention that in this Norwegian report, looking into the involvement of the local government, the course of UCLG has been mentioned. So that has been very something on a positive note, stating exactly that UCLG is providing competence, how they can become better in using it in their own working on the policies. And then we do have statistic national agency making those parameters, and they are on the national level. But the counties and the municipalities didn't realize how are they going to use it on the local level. And then another thing is that, for instance, we have some of the pilots in Norway. Some of the cities using OIR, maybe you have heard OIR. It's like a Geneva Charter of smart cities. And some of the cities have been starting to use that, which again, in the report, we understand that there is a huge need for coordination, because now the counties and municipalities and the local level, they don't really know how to do the reporting, where there are so many different options for that. And then we have in this the report itself, for instance, we do have emphasis on certain SDGs on the national level. We know that Norway has a lot to do when it comes to reducing harmful emissions, because Norway has a lot of oil and gas, and these fossil fuels are not they are not the best option for our planet. So Norway did not reach our goal for now. So until 2050, until 2030, and then we have 2050, where Norway is very committed to the Paris Agreement, hopefully reducing. But it means we have to reduce by, I think, like 92 or 93, like really a huge number. So Norway has been criticized for that, despite the beautiful nature. And then we have, for instance, we discussed a little bit like on our last Zoom. I mentioned that in Norway we also have native people, and then I also looked into how is there a parliament, because they also have a parliament which is not a legislative body, but it's a consultative body. So how are they participating in this? And they actually do not have their own reports. They do not. They are not included in that way. It has to go to the county because they are not the official part of the multi-governance. But they do also have several reports on the climate side. So this is what they are. What their contribution is. And then another thing which is not mentioned in the report, actually, this report, Norwegian report, 1 Year to Lead, it is not explicitly mentioned there, but very much connected to the climate issue, is that Norway is looking into ways of how to go from current energy sources to renewable energy sources. And then we can see that while they're working on one SDG, they are actually in danger of jeopardizing another one, which is reducing inequalities. And this is where indigenous people come in the picture, because the renewable energy sources will be placed on the land that is actually already used by indigenous people for their own community issues. So it is very, very important to be aware of that. And in those reports, it's not clear how are they going to do this. So and then we see that, for instance, what is important for Norway, it is apart from the climate, it is health, well-being of the people, and also the gender equality, and especially this also mentioned in the report, how to reduce violence against women. So very much, yeah.
Thanks, Alma. I will just take the opportunity. You added a very good comment on our general communication forum, and I would like to bring this here. Could you find the participation of private sector on the report?
Not really. And I also post what is it called, the discussion like a question on our platform. And the reason why I asked the question is exactly because the companies themselves, they are not aware how are they going to do this, like who is going to measure them, or should they use the parameters from the statistical agency. Then they turn to the municipality and the county, but they are also a little bit confused. So on the national level, we have a really nice strategy. We have a lot of great papers. Also, maybe you know that our prime minister was one of the participants in she was co-chairing one of the groups working on SDGs. But when it comes to implementing this on the local level, and especially using private sector, they are not really sure how to do this. So many of them turn actually to UN Global Compact, because they know that through UN Global Compact, at least they can report. There is a system where they can check there is a checklist and so on. And then they have like ISO reporting, they have CSR. but it's not going to help national reports if they do not accumulate this data into their own report, but it's just going to be discoordinated somewhere. So it would be good to get some examples or like a list to do it, how to.
I'm looking for examples in English because I have some examples here in Brazil. And we have several companies and industries that they really have turned their work and they have connected it with the SDGs. But since our national government denies the 2030 agenda, so there's no connection between government and private sector. But they're really doing a very good job on trying to make themselves more sustainable and integrated with the international agendas. So as soon as I find something in English, I will share with you there. And thanks for your report. It's always good to listen to you and to learn a little bit more about Norway, a beautiful country. So thanks again. Rami, are you there?
Yeah. How are you?
So let's talk about Lebanon. And you have brought Manar as audience. So if you tell something wrong, I have someone to help me today.
So we are good aligned with Manar, yeah, and with the municipality.
Yeah, hello, Rami.
How are you, Manar?
Hi.
Yeah, I will speak a little bit now about Lebanon. It is, I think, a little bit different than Norway or different than other countries. Lebanon established a national committee for the SDGs. It was established in December 2016, and the role of this committee was the role of this committee is to integrate the SDG in the national programs and policy and align it with the local development agenda and programs. This national committee was established with 54 members. Most of them are directors of ministries and public administrations. Two of them are civil societies, and the other two from the private sector Chamber of Commerce, who are representing the private sectors. The first VNR was submitted in July 2018. This is the first VNR. The VNR rely on data and information collected from two sources. Primary sources were key ministries, parliaments, and other state entities, such civil society and business sectors. A short questionnaire was sent to the public sector administration to collect information on the national policy and the strategies related to the SDGs. In addition of the 23 individuals, stakeholders were interviewed, including academia and research and development centers. The second source were gotten from existing data, which was given from ministries and reports and studies done by UN agency and international NGO. So for that, three workshops were executed. The first workshop was targeting the National Committee, aimed to increase the awareness of the SDGs and their effects on the Lebanese, on Lebanon. It included a discussion of the role of different actors and stakeholders. There was a high level of engagement by the government official following this workshop. 40 public agencies responded positively to the questionnaire and gave information relevant to the project or program they are executing, taking into consideration the SDGs. The second workshop targeted the private sector. 20 business representatives from different sectors across Lebanon. Those representatives were representing the syndicates, Chamber of Commerce, etc. The focus on the importance of partnership, as you were speaking about partnership between public and the private sector, PPP. And the representative consider their role and the importance of the value that they can provide to the SDGs and the Agenda 2030. The third workshop was focusing and targeting the 50 CSOs in Lebanon across all Lebanese land from north to south. They were integrated to day-to-day operation and difficulty and challenges they are getting. And especially, I will speak about challenges later. The workshop, the Civil Society Representative National Committee have organized wider consultation across the country to prepare their input into the VNR. The three, as you can see, the three workshops showed us the participation of different level of the LRG in the implementation of the SDG and the monitoring of the indicators. In addition of their different role in aligning their policy and program with the SDGs. As you can see also, as I can mention, also a parliament committee was also responsible to monitor the work of the national committee. And in addition of that, 300 NGO were consulted, including those in remote areas. An official channel of communication between CSOs and the government was established. All of this players and actors, stakeholders were trying to be involved in the VNR implementing of SDGs and monitoring of the indicator of the SDGs. On the other hand, a few ministries such as public health, I will not speak about all of them, I will speak about public health, industry, education, environment, have already made a progress along these lines. Environmentally, national laws and on environmental protection was approved, which is aligned with the SDGs. Industry support of micro and SME, small and medium enterprises. Also developed new laws to support them with loans or grant from the main BDL, it is Banque de Liban. Education, mandatory primary education was also in Lebanon focused. The government was focusing on it, the Ministry of Education, in addition of upgrading all the vocational training courses and the classes, market need assessment to empower the entrepreneur. As you can see, it's not in Lebanon. It's not, people are not focusing on vocational training too much. Even that, for example, when I was studying in Germany, it is 80% vocational training, Fachhochschule, or Technische Hochschule, and 20% are going to the academic. I'm giving only example for that. Now I think the target is going now more on the vocational and technical training, which can lead us to more entrepreneur and increase of the economy. Gender equality suggested laws in the parliament to support the law of women in the political life and decision maker, which we already made our last activity or assignment on the gender equality on it. The health, the partnership, as we were speaking, between public and private sector to increase and ameliorate the health industry, which reflect on the health of the citizen and the refugees, as you know, the crisis in the Middle East. Many challenges, I will speak only about the challenges, the last thing. Lebanon is facing a lot of challenges, especially in the SDGs and implementation. We don't have a statistical system and database on the indicator or to have a hub to collect all the data from all ministries and municipalities or CSO and everything. The role of the NC, the National Committee, was trying to coordinate between all ministries to get this information. In addition of that, technical assistance and capacity building was needed for this reason. I think the UN agency are trying to support the Lebanese government and those actors to reach their goal. Lebanon developed also agenda will need to be financed through lending. We don't have too much resources in Lebanon. So most of the implementation was, other than the implementation through updating laws, financially, the two sources are lending or grant from donors. Finally, the most important two challenges we are facing now and for the VNR and for the implementation is access to data and coordination between stakeholders, ministries, municipalities, CSO, donors, and policymakers. Unfortunately, a lot of policy were adapted by the government and by local government, by municipalities, but most of them are till now, not most of them, 50% of it are till now on papers. They didn't execute them directly on the Lebanese. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Rami, for sharing with us this amazing participatory process. I always think in the scale of the countries, because Lebanon has the population of the metropolitan region I live. And it was, you did more than I did when I coordinated the metropolitan plan as a country. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
It's amazing to see because their results, and I think it was also good to Alma to listen a little bit how private sector did, how national government can mobilize private sector to be part of the process. So it was quite interesting. And Manar, can I explore you a little bit?
Yes, I'm here.
Can you connect how you as a group of cities did part of this process? Did you do part of this process?
Okay, I have a comment about this. Maybe we are working on SDGs in the Union since 2015, but I have a comment about the preparation of our national towards the SDGs. So maybe Rami, he prepared his work from national level, and our experience in the Union is with closely to the NGOs and private sectors. So this, I will keep it for my intervention the next week. I appreciate the work of Rami. He had really a great job searching with the on the national level. But because one time, as I remember when I was preparing the SDG report from for our union to present it to the UCLG, the government refused to give me feedback about this, and I didn't know about the reasons. Later on, I met His Excellency. He was responsible about the SDGs in Lebanon, Ghassan Hasbani. Then we discussed the process and how it worked in 2017 to prepare it. And to present it to the high-level political forum, I think in 2018. So in this regard, I have my comments, and I will develop it in my intervention. But really, I discovered some points, new points, through the discussion of Rami given today.
Oh, that's great.
So my experience with SDGs in Lebanon is from the other side. It's with the public sector, the private sectors or NGOs or not on national level.
So as you could see, I brought Manar to do that next on UCLG Deputation Barcelona course. You have this merchandising about our discussion on Wednesday. So if you want to learn more about Lebanon, come with us next Wednesday.
Yeah.
No, but thanks, Manar. It's interesting because we had that. For those who missed our last talk, Rami and Manar, they are both from Lebanon, and they always bring us the different perspectives from for their experience. That's why I explored a little bit Manar to talk, but it's quite interesting to see how the work in Lebanon has been
done.
Yeah, I want only to add one thing. The idea that Manar is speaking about the role of the NGOs and private sector. As I am working in a local NGO and in the Chamber of Commerce of Tripoli, and also doing a project, implementing a project with Manar and the Union of Dunni in the same time. The idea is we have a lot of problem, as I mentioned before, of data collection. No one is ready to give you data, and especially no one have one hub for all the data needed in the indicators or anything. Even if you are counting population, you don't have any one responsible entity for this reason. That's why I think now the NGO, international or local NGO, is taking place of the government and collecting data. And the government and the national committee maybe are taking this information directly from the NGO, local NGO and international NGO, instead of collecting their own data.
Here in Brazil, in the 90s, we will say that NGOs is not no governmental, it's the new governmental, because they were doing what was expected to governments to do.
Government do, yeah, exactly.
And government feel comfortable. Oh, so you were doing, why should I waste money? They are doing my job for free, so let's keep it. And exactly what you said, but it's interesting to listen to that in terms of data. I can't remember listening examples of NGOs having better data and government using data, because most of the time they react like no, like that. But it's important. It's partnership. If they have better data, let's work together. Let's do it. Yeah, it's amazing. So now let's go to Russia. Where are you, Anna?
Yeah, hello everyone. Thank you for this opportunity. Well, in Russia, we also have very different situations.
Your microphone is very, very, very low. Can you talk a little bit closer to your microphone?
Yeah, let's try like this. Is it better?
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yes. In Russia, we also have very different situation. Last year, our country has presented its first voluntary national review during the HLPF, and the work on its preparation was made through the working groups. So we had 17 working groups on each SDG, and the analytical work, the joint work, was made by the Analytical Center for the Government of the Russian Federation. So as for now, they are not answering for the implementation of the SDGs, but they were working on the preparation of the report. Local and regional governments are presented in this structure through our organization, to be honest. because UCLG Eurasia took an active part in the preparation of the national voluntary review. We were members of several working groups on SDG 5, 9, 11, 13, and 17. Also, we had invited some other local and regional governments association, such as Union of Russian Cities, Volga Region Association, and so on. So they also could have taken part in the preparation of the report. And we insisted that local and regional governments are initial in the implementation of the SDGs, because in the beginning of this process, local and regional governments weren't presented in this structure. There were only ministers and other governmental bodies at the national level. And even when they were discussing the SDG 11 sustainable cities, there were no representative of local and regional governments association. And I was shocked, like, how can they discuss cities without any representative of city or region? So we decided that we have to work even more on the SDG 11, and that's what we did. And during the presentation of our voluntary national review this July, we found out that some of our projects, some projects of our cities that we have collected and presented to this analytical center, they were included in the structure. And to be honest, I have concrete examples of which projects were included. If you would like to know about these projects, I can tell you a bit more. For instance, 7 cities and urban areas in Russia are participants in the international campaign My City is Getting Ready, implemented by the United Nations Office for Disaster Risk Reduction as part of the Making Cities Resilient campaign. And we have collected what they have done in these cities already and presented this information to the analytical center that were preparing the report. Also, in UCLG Eurasia, we have conducted a special research on gender equality in our cities. And when it was done, we also have sent this report to the analytical center, so that they included it in the national review. I think it's also very good that they have examples of cities working on gender equality. And also it was our kind of victory, because last year, Mayor of Kazan, of the city where I'm based, became the president of the United Nations Advisory Committee of Local Authorities, UNACLA. So now we are working on strongly that local and regional governments to be included in the United Nations structure and can present their vision of the SDGs implementation in the structure of United Nations. So as for now, unfortunately, no Russian or even Eurasian city has presented their voluntary local review. But I can say that the city of Moscow, capital of Russia, they are working hard on the voluntary local review right now. And as far as I know, they have connections with the UN Habitat. So they will jointly work on this voluntary local review. And we hope that next year, Moscow will be the first city from our region that will present voluntary local review. Yeah, but also, last year, after the World Council of Local and Regional Governments in Durban, some of the cities found out about the voluntary local reviews, and they said that they would like to participate in this process, but they don't know the criteria. And we found out that this is a very critical issue for our region, because we don't have any rules on how city can prepare the voluntary local reviews. And I was very happy to hear Sarah that she said that UCLG has prepared criteria for the voluntary local reviews. Yeah, and that we can translate it into Russian and disseminate it in our cities, so they can know what should they do and what structure should be. And also, I would like to tell you about a special project. It's a non-governmental project, some kind of NGO. We have a voluntary organization. It's called Open School for Sustainable Development. As far as I know, it's only voluntary organization with people who really care about the sustainable development. And they have done an amazing work. We also invited them to some of our meetings. They work with youth mainly. They promote SDGs and sustainable development itself. And they also work closely with this analytical center that is preparing the voluntary national reviews for Russian Federation. And I think it's like the first step of attracting the civil society to the reporting process. So I hope that next time when Russia will be presented its voluntary national reviews, there will be even more strong participation of civil society and private sector, because as for now, it's more governmental report, to be honest. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anna. And it's amazing because I was just talking about the scale, and Russia has the same scale as Brazil, and it's quite difficult to do national participatory process, because you have to make it regional. There are several cultural differences between the different parts of the country, and it's hard, not only to plan but to implement public policies with all this diversity. And so it's amazing to listen that Russia has been, even though it's very concentrate at the governmental side, but has been doing several things. And let's wait and see how it's going to be the Moscow report, because I think it's going to be very interesting, especially because it's the capital of a country of that size. And I think it's going to be inspirational for all the others to start doing their reports, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that this problem can be similar to different countries, that large cities and capital cities, they are more aware about the SDGs, and we also have the same in our country, of course. So like the cities like St. Petersburg, Moscow, Kazan, Yekaterinburg, they aware about the SDGs. They work jointly with the UN Habitat and other governmental bodies, and small cities, they do not aware about the SDGs, and it's our work as a local governmental association to promote the SDGs to them too.
Yeah, congratulations. Thanks for sharing it with us. Berenice, buenos días. We have
Good
Mexico.
morning, Cid. Yes, Mexico time here. It's very early. I'm sorry for the delay.
No, don't worry. Thanks for coming. Don't worry. We have right now for MJ, it's 9 p.m. So for you, it's 7 a.m.?
Here in Mexico, no, 6 a.m.
So, good morning. Good morning, sweetie.
But still a pleasure to be here and seeing you guys, even though it's very early on Saturday.
So very good to have you here with us. Berenice just sent me a message. Where's the link? So it's good that I saw it. It's good to have you here. So I will pass the word. Now let's go to the dunes of Egypt to listen to Sherif and what Egypt has been doing.
Hello, Cid. Hello, everyone. First of all, I hope that you allow me to thank you for this very important, very crucial, very informative, very productive course. The reason I say that is because, if you allow me to say it, I was invited to attend the Venice 2030, which was organized along the past 2 days. I have been attending such forums and debates for about 20 years, since since the year 2000. But this is the first time when I attend such forums, such conferences. I think that everything comes into place. Now I understand what's being said, what's being demonstrated, localization, everything we have learned, all the lessons we have seen and studied, I saw them in blood and flesh. Everything was clear. I attended many panels. They were talking about linking SDG to the territories, mapping local action spaces, also panels about identifying correlation actors and links of local SDG actions. And the most important thing that I learned about the latest of the UCLG initiatives, which is the hub. It's called the Local for Action hubs. I'm just referring to this just to give you credit for your very informative lessons you taught us, and that were really very eye-opening. Thank you. Now, if we are going to talk about Egypt's reports, it is really something to be proud of. Egypt in 2016, you know that we have a revolution in 2011. Everything was devastated. There were no regime, no systems. Everything collapsed until a new president was elected in 2014. A new constitution was made. Everyone was hoping at that time to get the state back on track and to rebuild it in all its ways. And nothing was more helpful at that time than resorting to the framework of the SDGs that provide a very fruitful umbrella to ensure the progress of the state. Egypt made, as I said in my last debate, its 2030 vision, which was based mainly on the global agenda of the UN and on the African agenda 2063. It's very good to mention that Egypt has presented 2 VNRs, one in 2016 and one in 2018, and Egypt is preparing now for a new VNR in 2021. I checked for this myself. How Egypt was among the countries that presented 2 times. What was the mechanism used to present and submit these VNRs? Let me give you a quick hint about this. After the elections of 2014, as I said, everybody was thinking of how to put the state back on track, and the strategy of Egypt 2030 was pushing the people in charge to make very positive progress in this regard. The launch of the strategy was followed by the establishment of the first thing the state did was establish, like in Lebanon, the establishment of a national committee. This national committee aimed at monitoring the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals as a result of a prime ministerial decree. A decree was issued at the time, and this committee falls directly under the ministerial remit of the Prime Minister and his office, and it was composed by 17. Look at the number: 17 ministries and state entities and NGOs. All of them collaborated on making this 2018 VNR. I want to mention the ministries quickly. Ministry of Social Solidarity, Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Investment and International Cooperation, Ministry of Local Development, Ministry of Higher Education and Science Research, Ministry of Planning, Monitoring and Administrative Reform, National Council for Women, so to ensure that women are represented, National Council for Childhood and Motherhood, so that the rights of children to be ensured that they are represented, Ministry of Foreign Affairs to take care of the international dimension, Ministry of Housing, Utilities and Urban Communities, Ministry of Health and Population, Ministry of Finance, Central Agency for Public Mobilization and Statistics, Accountability State Authority, National Council for Disability Affairs, okay, to make sure that the vulnerable segment of the society are all represented, and the Cabinet Information Decision Support Center. So the state has mobilized all its ministries, all its powers, mobilize them fully so that they make this agenda report. It's very important to say that the state at that time, in 2018, resorted to the UNDP. The UNDP was there to help in the formation of the report. And this is very important to say. Let me also say that the localization of the SDGs in Egypt was an unprecedented move towards translating the concept of inclusive sustainable development into action. Okay, I'd like to refer here to that some NGOs were present, and even they went to students at universities, explained to them the SDGs and how important they are to ensure the progress of the state. And there were questionnaires among the students, and they took their opinions. How about the monitoring and evaluation mechanisms? It's a good and worth mentioning to say that the principle of leaving no one behind was always in front of the eyes of the government of Egypt, which was committed to incorporate this concept of sustainable development into each and every project that is being implemented and which is going to be implemented. The integrated electronic system of planning and monitoring in the Ministry of Planning and the Monitoring and Administrative Reforms tool was used to ensure the project's compliance with the criteria of sustainability. I also would like to say that there were non-governmental monitoring and evaluation efforts. Non-governmental companies and organizations were used. The launch of SDGs, since it was launched in 2015, you know that it generated challenges for developing countries that have limited data. Is very important. Like Rami has said, in our developing countries, we have limited data on development issues, as classic methods of data collection are often expensive and time-consuming. But new technologies for collecting data for monitoring and evaluation processes could offer cheap, real-time data and potentially increase the participation and engagement of citizens in the decision-making process. In Egypt, many governmental authorities have developed systems to receive citizens' complaints, analyzing the frequency types and locations of complaints, and to provide maps that point out where are the bottlenecks and allow the government to improve services. The private sector, like I said now, the private sector has really played an important part. It has developed some new technological tools that utilize mobiles and can deal with big data techniques to provide useful services. The Egyptian Center for Public Opinion Research has developed a set of mobile applications to use in overcrowding places to report on crowded places. We have an initiative and an application called As We Ask You. It's a mobile polling application that measures public sentiment on development issues, including gender, environment, reproductive health, and migration via crowdsourcing and big data. These application subscribers can ask questions or answer questions that other subscribers have asked, and the results of answer to each question are displayed in a graph format. There is also an application called Integrity Map. It's a mobile application that allows citizens to report any corruption instance they experience in their daily life. The application presents the reported corruption cases on a map of Egypt and displays statistics about each type of corruption. Like I said,
closing remarks.
Yes. Sorry?
Closing remarks, my friend.
Closing remark? Yes.
You
Okay,
have
I'm
to
sorry.
close.
Okay. I'm sorry. I took so much time. I'm so sorry. Before I close, I just want to say that the aim and the goal of Egypt in making its last VNR 2018 was leaving no one behind. Leaving no one behind in its true sense. That was the motive, that was the slogan, that was the locomotive that guided us to make this VNR, and we hope that Egypt's 2021 VNR will seek more coverage, more implementation of the SDGs, and we hope that if we meet again, we are going to discuss together the new touches and the new approach and the new methodologies Egypt has taken to make and to present its VNR. Thank you. I'm sorry for the prolonged time. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing the work Egypt has been doing. Can you please repeat the name of the first APP you mentioned? You mentioned Integrity Map, and the other one?
Map? Program? The program?
Yeah.
The mobile program? Okay.
Yes.
Yes. The first one, which dealt with what the
feelings.
The what?
What people answers the questions of the others.
Yes, it's a Nazaha map about corruption.
About no, corruption? The other one. No, the first one.
Yes, we ask you. We ask you, but I'm going to but it's not. It's not. It's in the Arabic language. In Arabic, it's called Nis'alak.
Okay.
Nis'alak. I'm going to send it to you on.
I have to give a look. But let me ask you one more question.
Yes.
Why do you think? What is the inspiration to make Egypt the VNRs? Because you're going to the third VNR, and probably until 2030 you're going to present others. What do you feel is the feeling? It's to show the world the work you are doing, or it's inspiration for the country? The national government is trying to show inside the country what they're doing.
No,
to show off.
Yes.
Okay. No, it's quite interesting because I think you read the documents of the chapter, so you know there are several countries next year presenting VNRs for the third time, and it's quite interesting to see some of the countries that have been doing this not only for the third or for the second time. So it's quite interesting. I've been given classes to
Yes.
Cape Verde, and it's a small island, and you're going to present your second VNR
Yes.
already, and they have been doing a lot of things. So it's quite interesting to see that some countries are very inspired by VNRs, and to connect it with the planning, with local and regional governance. It's a very good example. But thanks, Sherif,
Thank
to
you.
talking
Thank you,
to
Sid.
us. And now
Thank you.
let's come to my Latin America,
Yes. Thank you, Sid.
and let's have some Mexican flavor in our floor. Are you wakened, Berenice? Yeah,
Yes,
she's
I
awake.
am. I am here.
With
Well,
a huge cup of coffee.
I did. I do. I have two here, right here. So I'll finish one and begin with the other one. Sorry, but yeah, now I'm awake. I can say that. And well, in my
Please share
presentation,
with us.
I would like to present the VNR process that we have just begun, and then to speak about the COVID answers that we had for the states and municipalities in Mexico.
Please.
So we are beginning our third VNR at the making of the document. We began last month with all the round of teachings that we got from UNDESA. It was UNDESA and CEPAL in Latin America. So we do have two forums that are teaching us like the international best practices. It has been very enlightening. And then we are working with Peer for Review, and they have made a small group that encompasses 2 African countries, 2 Latin American countries. And it's a very petit comité, and we are there exchanging best practices and answering questions, and we are inviting different stakeholders as to have their perspective on how they can help us to put together this VNR that we will be submitting in July. The main challenges we are facing right now is, of course, COVID-19. That does not allow us to have any presential meetings or contact with the people. So we are working right now on a platform, a digital platform that it has like nodules. It's pretty nice to see because it's very easy to understand, and the whole idea is to work with this platform and make the platform open to the people with transparency laws so that everybody can see who participated and what was their input to the document. So we have also created an inter-secretarial group to help us do the work. And we have just done that last week. And we have asked different parts of the Mexican state to help us, like the Senate and the Congress. And we have the INAFED, which is the institute that deals with the local communities, with the municipalities in Mexico. So we have asked them. We are using our governance structure with the states, where we have implemented an office and 2030 agenda office in each of the 32 states. So we are also asking them through the CONAGO, which is the Association of States. And then, but this association split this year. So we have 2, one for the North and one for the South, Center-South. And so we have asked them to help us too. And we are all gonna work together, gathering information. So each head of a group will be in charge of submitting the information of their sector. Now we also called academia and private sector to help us in this inter-secretarial group. We will be also relying heavily on the National Commission for Human Rights, since they have like um, people all over the country who can help us gather information. So they will be helping us. And through the platform, we want to, with the help of the UN, we want to gather the information from the civil society. It's very difficult from the federal office to make a calling for the NGOs because they always believe we have a criteria to select them. So we do not want to give that impression or that. So that's why we are asking the UN to help us. And through their regional offices, by theme, they will help us gather information from the organizations, the civil society organizations, so that we can have a balanced view of what their opinions are in terms of the 2030 agenda implementation. So we are really trying to make an open call to society to give their input so that we can end with a document that is very balanced, that will help us throw a light as to where the main areas of opportunity lie in the coming years. So that is the process we are beginning. It will be challenging. It's going to be intensive 6 months. But really, I think it's a very good effort, and it's going to help us bring the attention to several civil society groups who are not like implementing the agenda, that this is the time to do it and hopefully gather a momentum so that everybody begins working more on the implementation of the agenda from each of their sectors. So that is the overview. And then in terms of COVID-19 responses that we have had from the Federation, which is the area where I work from, we took 2 areas that we believed were the most at risk during this pandemic. The first was gender violence. Mexico has a very important challenge in terms of gender violence against women and girls. So this pandemic has made things a lot worse for women and girls in Mexico, especially at the beginning when we were very confined. Now it's much more relaxed, but the first months, the cases of violence against women and girls incremented very much. So we analyzed all the challenges that we were facing. And we knew that violence against women and girls was one of them. And then the other one was loss of jobs for many people in Mexico. We lost thousands of jobs the first 3 months. So, and that was creating food insecurity. So we decided through analyzing the data that job loss was also one of the main COVID-19 Mexican problems. We also called the states, each of our offices in the 32 states, and we were able to confirm that those were the main concerns, no? Besides helping with health, but those were the 2 main concerns nationwide. So we worked on a digital refuge for women. It's called Refugio Digital. And women were, we made a hackathon with the help of the German Cooperation Office to engage the young people who are very digitally knowledgeable to help us design different projects that could help women during the pandemic. So the status of that is that the group was selected, 5 projects were selected that were amazing. And right now they are training with different universities to make their projects very solid and launch them as soon as possible. And the other one is called Fábrica de Soluciones, and that is to help the lowest, the most at-risk people in the different states. We are doing this with the help of the states to go digital through the people who had like commerces and who lost most of their clientele. We are helping them through the states to go digital with their with their businesses. No, they're small businesses, so we are trying to help them that way. So that is basically what I wanted to present. I want to also say the same as my Egyptian colleague in this forum. It's been a very enriching course. It's really helping me now that our office is in charge of the VNR to understand more aspects, to get this input from people all over the world. It has been really amazing. And I thank you very much for having accepted me this course.
Yeah, thanks for having you with us, Berenice, because I'm sure you're going to be able to do a lot and share with the Mexican people, and also share with our colleagues the Mexican experience. And congratulations on your work. Let me, if I heard correctly, it's going to be the third VNR from Mexico as well. Okay, thanks. I thought it's there. Yeah, and this small group, a discussion group that you mentioned in the beginning, which countries are participating on that?
I don't have the list right now, but it's Sierra Leone. I think it's Nigeria. It's Guatemala from Latin America, and Mexico. And we are in this small committee, and it's really useful because we're going to have sessions all along the process of the making of the VNR, so we can exchange. And since it's a petit comité,
you're going to do together.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's a great forum.
It's quite a bit because we have a colleague from Sierra Leone in our group. She was expected to be with us today, but she's not here. It's Tanema. It will be interesting to know what she will be able to share with us, and you also mentioned something very interesting. You said it's going to be a 6 months process, so we're expected to develop the VNR in 6 months.
Yes, now it's challenging, and then the biggest challenges is, well, COVID-19, and we also have elections. It's half of the country is going to change at the state and municipal level. Yeah. So many people who we work with are already quitting their jobs to present themselves for elections. So it's going to be a transitional period. It's going to be COVID-19 period. So yeah, we do have challenges ahead, but we are trying to do our best to engage all stakeholders. And if we could get in touch with UCLG Mexico, would be fantastic.
Did you hear, Mr. Fernando?
Okay. So
no, thanks. It's because I think it's important to give people a dimension of timing, because it looks like it's a 6 months work. So it's quite amazing that's why I said it's important to try to understand what makes a country work 6 months on a report. And it's quite a lot of time, and time means money. It's a lot of people involved. But on the other side, it's good to see that some countries are wasting their time with that. So because it's worth, it's not wasting, it's investing their time on that. So it's good to listen to that, especially with the friends close here, because I live in a country that doesn't do reports and doesn't talk about Agenda 2030. What a shame, what a shame, what a shame. But so people, we still have 25 minutes. So do you want to make any questions? AJ, I think you are still with us. Do you want to make any questions to our colleagues, or any of you want to make any comments on that? Elisa, do you want to talk something? Fernando, please. I did my questions while they were talking, and like always, I love to listen to what you have to share with us. And oh, thanks, Rami, for sending us the link. I have already give a look. It's very interesting. I would love to have the opportunity to give a little bit more on that. So the floor is open for questions and comments. The only ones with excuse of being asleep, it's me, Berenice, and MJ. Some people might be hungry because it's lunchtime somewhere. All the others, I know it's Saturday, but probably it's cold outside already. So it's not a problem. It's not an amazing Saturday night for you. So any questions, any comments? Oh, Berenice, thanks for sharing. I just changed the deadline for the questionnaire because it was on, on a Thursday, 2 days ago. I didn't see, so I just moved it for tomorrow, and I'll send a message because just like Bernice said, most of all the others was on Sunday, so probably people was expecting to do on the weekend. Can you please send a message, Elisa, to the people to say that we just changed the deadline?
But I'm confused because I thought that the deadline was tomorrow already.
No, it was on the 26th. Berenice just called and sent me a message. I just entered there and moved it because some people might be trying to do in the weekend. They're not able to do, so I just did it.
Yeah, of course. I'll send a message and I'll notify everyone. The deadline is tomorrow.
So if you don't have, please, Fernando.
No, from my part, I would like to thank you all and say that we keep in contact to the next activities of learning together, and not only learning but monitoring, reporting. We count on you as our future trainers.
Just a brief comment. I want to know about the contract that you have with Sherif, and also Rami has with Sherif, because while he was talking, you were just sending messages. What's going on with this group? When I talk, nobody sent messages with linkeds and things like that. I'm jealous. I want to know about this. What's going on in this group? I have to give good examples as well.
And I would like to listen to MJ because she's listening, but I would like to hear from her. Yeah. Okay. No, just a comment.
It's just like Manar. She's here for publicity. Okay. Next, on our course, you're gonna have Manar and MJ talking.
Okay. So we can go.
Okay. Thank you for giving me the floor. Actually, today I just did participate to listen and learn from each other. Actually, this is the first time. I'm sorry that I missed it many times to meet you and then discuss together about these current issues together. However, we just left it one more meeting like this. However, I hope this meetings keep going. Even finish this course as officially. However, we can connect each other to discuss and then share the more information. And then, yes. And then I have, and then for today, by listening and sharing from the many the speakers today, I have inspirations to prepare for my next presentations. And then I have also many cases to share with you. I expect next time's discussion. And then thank you very much to be with you today. All right.
Thanks for being with us. And MJ just did our marketing for next Wednesday. Don't miss MJ and Manar talking about their experience. And for those who are with us as speakers today, you can be audience on Wednesday. It's going to be full. We have, I think we have 9 or 10 speakers. And so you won't have 7 minutes. You're going to have 5. But once again, thanks for being with us. It has been a pleasure to be talking to you, listening to you, reading your documents, and learning a lot with your experience. If you still have any doubts, any comments, just send us. And I love what MJ said. You can keep on doing this exchange after the course is over. You all have your emails and your contacts. Don't lose it, because as you could see, some of our colleagues are really inside the implementation of the agenda, and it's going to be great to see how the work they're going to do for next year for those VNRs. It's going to be great to be able to be part of this and to learn with them. I hope you have an amazing weekend. I know that for some countries tomorrow it's already work day, isn't it, Sherif? I have already learned about that. But for me, tomorrow it's a wonderful rest Sunday, even though I have to work. But it's going to be great. So people, don't miss the end of this course. You still have your questionnaire to fill in, and you have your individual assignment to finish. And you know how to find me. You know how to find Elisa. Fernando, thanks for everything. Elisa, thanks for everything. See you on Wednesday. Don't miss us.
Thank you.
Thank
Elisa?
you. Thank you. Yeah, no, I just wanted to thank you, everyone, to thank everyone also for their contributions and for taking the time to be with us today on a Saturday, especially to Berenice. I am so sorry about that. Anywho, just we are arriving at the end of chapter 4, slowly but surely. So keep up the good work, and we'll see each other in the platform.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend.
You
Thank
too.
you,
Bye.
Thank you,
Thank you all.
Sid. Thank you, Elisa. Thank you, Bernice. Thank you, Rami.
Thank you,
Alma.
everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, MJ.
Thanks to
Thank
you.
you, all of
Thank
you.
you. Thank you very
Bye.
much. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, all of you.